tips. Twin States reporter Cameron Brewer tells us more.
East Mississippi Crime Stoppers partnered with surrounding school districts and law enforcement to make schools safer by way of a smartphone app.
About 2.5 years ago, we were at a national conference and discovered P3 Campus for the schools. This is for middle school and for high school students. It's an anonymous reporting platform they can download on their phone or computer,
The app was first introduced to schools about a year ago, and since then has become more popular.
Started off slow, but the students are very receptive to it now. Once it's been used and kind of word gets around on campus, they're becoming more and more receptive to it.
Once students report a tip, it is then sent to law enforcement and school administrators.
It's pretty quick. From the time that they send the tip, I'm sure it's just within a minute. It's sent via text message, so however long that takes to go through the system.
The app is made up of many scenarios for students to report.
It could be bullying, it could be domestic violence, drugs, obviously, pre-planned fights, prior knowledge of a fight on campus is huge. If we receive that information.
School resource officers are thankful for the app because it allows for students to have a voice and speak up.
When you look at the way society moves, our young people know things before most everybody else, especially on the school campus. Our students know. And if they're willing to share that information, it helps as far as trying to deter as much as possible. It helps as far as mitigating what could be circumstances.
Cameron Brewer, Twin States News.
The app is available for parents also. You can find the P3 Campus app in the Apple and Google Play Store.
Making news tonight in DeSoto County, 2 people are dead and 2 others are injured following a shooting at a Walmart. It happened early this morning in South Haven. Police say a former employee shot and killed 2 co-workers. A police officer and the alleged shooter were both injured. Officials say the former employee was suspended on Monday after pulling a knife on a customer. It appears he then returned to the store and opened fire. South Haven's mayor assures the public there's no larger threat.
So we looked back to the store and saw this guy running into the store, and I'm thinking, why is he running into the store, And just about 30 seconds later, we see 2 people run out of the store, and then just a flood of people leaving.
I just want to express today that we're extremely sorry, for the family and friends of the victims. It's just it's a terrible event. Prayers go up for them, but I'm extremely proud of the way South Haven first responders handled it.
Walmart's president and CEO releasing a statement that reads in part, "The entire Walmart family is heartbroken by the loss of 2 valued members of our team. We feel tragedies like this personally, and our hearts go out to the families of our 2 associates and the officer who was injured."
Officials with Meridian Police Department voicing their concerns about the dangers that can occur when a driver's eyes taken off the road. According to the stats released by the Mississippi Department of Transportation, texting while driving puts motorists at risk 23 times more than other ways of distracted driving. Officials with MPD say motorists' lives matter. And it can all end from sending a text from behind the wheel.
Any activity where your hands may not be operating that steering wheel of the vehicle puts you at risk. We encourage the public to understand when you are operating a motor vehicle, do so in a safe way to protect yourself.
Mississippi does have a distracted driving law that was passed in 2016. Anyone caught driving and using social media or texting could be issued a fine.
Teachers from across the state coming together for the Mississippi Department of Transportation's annual Roadways into Developing Students program training. This is for elementary students. The program, developed by MDOT in 2004, is designed to improve STEM skills and prepare students for the workforce of the future. Once teachers complete the 2-day training, they receive the program module, which contains ready-to-use lesson plans and resources that a teacher might need to conduct the hands-on activities in their classrooms. All right, local children will have the chance to raise money for a good cause tomorrow by way of a summer classic, and that's the old lemonade stand.
What better way to do it? Twin States reporter Emily Erickson shares how you can help.
It's hard enough to be going through chemo and radiation, but to have to worry about electricity and how you're going to pay for that and gas to and from, just little things where we can help where we may not even realize that that's a need in our community.
Children of the oncologists here at the Anderson Cancer Center will be serving up fresh lemonade in order to serve cancer patients. They'll be raising money for their benevolence fund, which covers extra costs not provided by insurance.
I think it's great for everybody, it's for the community and for our children, just to show other-centeredness, just to show that it's better to give than to receive, and to see the joy on everyone's face as the children serve the community, and the children get to see the joy in the faces as they're giving, and just seeing the joy of everybody.
Not only will lemonade be sold, but artwork done by Cassell herself, who is the wife of one of the oncologists on staff.
Give Hope Designs is something that we came up with 3 years ago. I started with art in my husband's office just to help those patients that might be needing a little faith at the time. And it's just grown over the last 3 years. We usually do Christmas, just different art for Christmas time, and we donate 100% of those donations to the Benevolence Fund as well.
The lemonade stand will kick off at 10 a.m. and go until 12 p.m. Reporting at the Anderson Cancer Center, Emily Erickson, Twin States News.
Cash and checks will be accepted, as well as, of course, donations. All right, the second Democratic presidential debate begins tonight in Detroit, and the stakes could not be higher for many in that crowded field of candidates.
Yeah, we'll have a preview ahead and tell you what things to look out for. Stay with us.
The second Democratic debate starts tonight. 2 nights, 20 candidates, and already signals from several candidates that they are ready to go on the attack.
Yeah, it's all taking place in Detroit, a city with long, winding history for Democrats, but flipped red for Trump in 2016. Morgan Radford went to find out what the locals will be looking for.
Ahead of tonight's make-or-break debate in the Motor City, Joe Biden is still dominating the Democratic race. A new Quinnipiac poll shows the former vice president with a double-digit lead over his rivals, surging 12 points in the past month. Biden's closest competitor, Senator Elizabeth Warren, with 15%, followed by Senators Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders. For Biden, it's a dramatic turnaround following his rocky performance in that first debate, caught off guard when Harris targeted his Senate record on civil rights.
You also worked with them to oppose busing.
Now, the former vice president says he's ready for a rematch, telling Democratic donors last week, "I'm not going to be as polite this time."
I will express differences and articulate them and certainly point out where we have differences of opinion.
And for tonight's debate, the location is just as key as the lineup. Michigan is one of 3 critical swing states along America's manufacturing corridor that flipped for Trump in 2016. Voters here say they want to hear about the economy.
You bring in more jobs. It'd be good for the community.
At a local gym in Detroit's Northwest Side, in a historically black neighborhood, voters say the candidates shouldn't take their votes for granted.
What do you think Detroit needs to hear from these Democratic candidates?
I think we are more concerned about hearing not just the middle class, but the black middle class.
We are the motor city, but even those jobs are decreasing. So it's like, what's next?
Meanwhile, Capital One announces a security breach with personal information of more than 100 million customers hacked. That compromised data included 140,000 Social Security numbers and 80,000 bank account numbers, as well as an unknown number of names, birth dates, credit limits, and other vital information. The company is offering free credit monitoring services to those affected. Meanwhile, in the wake of the Capital One's data breach, Federal Trade Commission is warning consumers about scams related to Equifax's data breach. The FTC used a tweet on Monday urging caution about fake websites claiming to be Equifax settlement claims websites. The tweet urges consumers to only apply for claims through the link on the FTC's actual website, ftc.gov/Equifax, or the official settlement website, equifaxbreachsettlement.com. The FTC is requiring Equifax to pay consumers up to $125,000 in cash and identity security services because of a 2017 data breach that impacted about 150 million people.
Back to school also means back to routine sleep schedules for students. Experts with the Better Sleep Council say instead of setting a bedtime, you should actually set a wake-up time. You should also find ways to make your child's room more peaceful and start by removing all electronics and clutter, they say. It is also important to develop a routine before bed. That can include things like a short story or a prayer. And finally, it's important to remember that your child cannot catch up on sleep. Experts say sleeping later on the weekends might make it more challenging to fall asleep Sunday night and wake up Monday morning. The months ahead are expected to bring the release of several new phones, and Google is providing a tease for their offering. Google released this brief video clip on Twitter for its upcoming Pixel 4 phone. It demonstrates a user controlling the phone without touching it. Instead, they're using hand gestures. Face Unlock is used to open the phone, similar to Apple's Face ID, but Motion Sense allows a user to skip songs, let's say, in an app by just swiping in the air. A radar technology called Soli is being used for that. The Pixel 4 is expected to be released sometime in October. You know what I always love about the release of the new iPhones and all the phones, Mark? It's right around our birthdays.
That's right.
Mark and I have birthdays close to each other right around that time, so it's always a good gift if anybody wants to.
There you go, September 27th, October the 11th. Remember that.
Libras.
Yes. Money will always do. Stay with us. Your complete forecast after break.
The light showers that were in Sumner County have died down, and we still have a few more rain activity in southern Choctaw County, as you can see, but most of us are dry. There are a few isolated thunderstorms that are well off to our west near Jackson, and it looks like they are going to remain there as we head into the latter part of this evening. It looks like maybe in Newton County we could see a thunderstorm or two by 8 o'clock, but most of all of this rain, I should say, will be dying down after 11 o'clock, and then we're going to start off with partly sunny to mostly sunny conditions in the morning hours. But those clouds were hanging in the sky today, and so it kept those temperatures a lot cooler today. Or yesterday, our high was 95 degrees. Today, we were only in the upper 80s. Right now, it's about 5 degrees cooler in Meridian than 24 hours ago, 4 degrees cooler in Newton, 5 in Philadelphia. And we're going to see those temperatures, though, be bumped up by tomorrow, especially because we're going to see plenty of sunshine. 88 degrees currently in Meridian, 84 in Newton. It's 85 degrees in Philadelphia, but our dew points are quite high. Yesterday, they were in the 60s. Today, they're in the 70s. So very tropical air that's moving into our area. The dew points will continue to stay in the 70s for tomorrow, so it may feel a little bit uncomfortable out there as we head into your Wednesday. This all comes out ahead of a cold front that is situated in Arkansas right now. This cold front will start to drift a little bit to the east, and it will stay just to our north. I think that's where the best chances of rain will be, but we can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm in our area. But overall, again, I think we're going to stay mainly dry, hot and humid once again, with that possibility of an isolated afternoon thunderstorm. Seasonably warm, though, for the rest of the week. It will stay humid, and then we do have the possibility of pop-up thunderstorms for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So that summer-like pattern will stay for at least 7 more days. 71 degrees for the low tonight in Meridian, 70 in Collinsville, 71 degrees in Newton. Partly cloudy skies tonight, partly cloudy tomorrow with that chance of an isolated thunderstorm or two. Our high tomorrow around 92 degrees in Meridian, Collinsville around 91 degrees, and our 7-day forecast calls for temperatures staying close to normal through the rest of the week and also into the weekend. And we do have the possibility of pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. A little bit cooler on Sunday with the high around 89 degrees with the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms. And then as we head into next week, more of the same with highs in the low 90s. That's a look at your weather. Stay tuned. We have more coming up after this.
Good evening and welcome back into Twin State Sports. I'm Zach Seminar. Today, the Mississippi State women's golf schedule came out. That includes busy travel accommodations for the Lady Bulldogs. MSU will kick off the season on September the 9th and 10th in Albuquerque at the Dick McGuire Invitational. Lady Dogs will head outside of the country in late October for the White Sands Invitational in the Bahamas. The Dogs will host their lone home meet of the season in West Point, the Magnolia Invitational. It'll be held October the 13th through the 15th. Ole Miss Lady Rebels also announcing their schedule today. They'll be in New Mexico with the Bulldogs to open the season in the second week of September. Lady Rebs will head to Cabo for a week to partake in the Battle at the Beach, November the 1st through the 3rd, and will host the Grove Cup April 7th and 8th in Oxford to close out regular season play. Today was a good day for releasing golf schedules across the state of Mississippi, so the Rebel men's team decided to do the same. They'll be racking up the frequent flyer miles this year. The Rebs kick off the season in the Grand Old Badger State September the 8th through the 10th, but will go on 3 consecutive excursions between October and March. Team will play in Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Cabo. Coach Malloy, if you're out there and you have a scholarship available, hit me up. And the schedule is out for the 2019 Babe Ruth World Series that's taking place next weekend in Westfield, Massachusetts. The Meridian 13-year-old boys baseball club is going to be there. They'll kick off action on Thursday, August the 8th at 1 p.m. They'll play under the lights on the East Coast Friday before a Sunday evening game and a Monday morning contest. Pelicans rookie Zion Williamson has signed a multi-year partnership with NBA 2K that includes appearances, social activations, and various in-game initiatives. Specifics of Williamson's deal were not disclosed, but previous activations included appearances at game launch and promotional events and participation in segments of the game called 2K TV, the in-game broadcast that appears before games and during halftime during gameplay. The United States women's national team head coach Jill Ellis has another World Cup title, and now she's set to step down. Ellis, who's led the Americans to back-to-back World Cup titles, has been the coach of the team since 2014. Ellis will remain with the squad through October, which will cover the team's 5-game victory tour, which kicks off Saturday with a match against Ireland at the Rose Bowl. 52-year-old's contract was set to expire following this year's World Cup with a mutual option to extend through the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The team will begin their search for a new coach after a general manager for the women's national team is named. And fewer players will be around for the weekend at the PGA Tour events starting next season. The Tour's Advisory Council voted last month to reduce the 36-hole cut size from the top 70 players to the top 65 players and ties starting in the 2019-20 season. The new regulation will ensure a more manageable field for the weekend from a pace of play perspective and allows more opportunities to play in twosomes over the final 2 rounds. Now, I did not play college athletics. Mark, you did. Do you have any eligibility left? Coach Malloy might get on the phone with you. You've been working on that golf stroke to go to Hawaii, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go to the places, but I mean, if you count on me to do anything.
The ship has sailed a long time ago.
Yeah, the ship sailed.
We'll be right back.
for most of the rest of the week. Temperatures around 92 degrees on Wednesday into your Thursday. There is the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm or two in the afternoon. That summer-like pattern taking over. Just a little bit cooler as we head into the latter part of the weekend with a high around 89 degrees, and then back to normal with highs in the 90s early next week.
All right.
Warm. Thanks for joining us.
See you tonight.
On Facebook and visit our website, twinstates.news.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Not really, it's a horrible day in the neighborhood.